This video is sponsored by RevTown. Beautiful area where you can pretty much throw a stone and hit a campsite. But those clouds are pretty ominous. If it gets a little dicier, I got a tent. I'll put it up. We'll figure it out. Hello everyone, Syntax 77 here. I am here in Virginia in the Grayson Highlands region. It is mid-September, it's about 66 degrees, nice and cool, just on the edge of fall. The crickets are singing, and we're about to do, if you care to join me, 3 days of mountains, balds, woods, and the Appalachian Trail, of which I believe we're going to take this way. We appear to be leaving the open area behind and entering the woods now. We should break out later, but my plan for today is probably not too many miles. So the whole loop for the next 3 days, probably in the 20 to 24 range, maybe. But today I'm thinking maybe only 4 or 5. We're gonna leave that Elk Garden trailhead and gain elevation, starting at 4,500, going up to maybe 5,500 towards Thomas Knob shelter on the AT. We're on the Appalachian Trail now going north, and probably set up camp around there. There's a spring, there's good views, should just be some nice camping. These white blazes here, that's the Appalachian Trail. It's very well marked so far. They got these posts in the ground, so no getting lost around here. I have actually been here before, and I've always said I wanted to come back to the Grayson Highlands. But, you know, I figured I had already done it, so people had seen it. But I was thinking about it the other day, and I did the math in my head, and it's been 4 going on 5 years since I've been here. So I think it's time to do it again. And I'm starting from a different trailhead. Before I started in the state park, which we're going to get to. You can't camp in it, but we're going to cut through it. They got wild ponies, beautiful vistas. But back then, I just rolled up and parked my car and left it overnight for 3 days. Apparently you can't do that anymore without a permit. And I picked this trip basically last minute as usual, so I didn't bother with permits. I just went down where we started from. That'll give me a 4-mile hike in, and then I'll connect to what I think will be the loop, and then we'll come back around and hike back out the way we just came in. But we're out of the wind now. There's a different sound in the air. A rustling of the leaves. It's nice though. This temperature is great. Forecast said a high in the low 80s, but it is, you know, pushing midday here at 66 degrees. That is perfect. I only have a threat of rain and thunderstorms on the last day, in the last half, which for me is pretty good. So I didn't bring any extra clothing or rain gear, and I kept my gear pretty minimal, which we'll see. I do have a tent body system because I might use some of the Appalachian Trail's shelters around here, in which case If I had a hammock system, I wouldn't be able to really do that. But with a tent and a small inflatable sleeping pad, which I have, I can kind of go either way. So that's my plan. I don't know my exact weight. I'll put that in the video description below, a detailed list. Definitely under 10 pounds. I'm just gonna guess by gut feel, probably in the 7.5 to 8.5 pound range. Add food and water, probably 5 to 7 pounds of that, and my total weight's probably only 15 to 17 pounds, which feels pretty good. No stools or saws or radios or any of that. And I'm not saying that because I look down upon it. I do it quite often, but I usually do that on group trips with my wife or with friends. But it's just me and you running solo, so I figured we'll keep it light and minimal. We've entered into here a little fern patch. So I'm gonna keep on hiking along, and we'll reach elevation. We'll get near Mount Rogers at 5,700 feet, the highest mountain in all of Virginia. But by East Coast standards, 57 and change is pretty up there. I mean, our tallest peak on the East Coast is Mount Washington in the 6,200 neighborhood. Of course, we usually start our hikes from sea level, so it all kind of balances out, right? But enough math. Let's settle into the groove. Let the body accept the fact that we're going to be hauling our own house and food for the next 3 days and get to it. All right, our first intersection. I have actually been here before, albeit not on purpose. Originally, when I did that loop before, I made a wrong turn up here, and I came down for about a half a mile, I'm guessing. Got to around here and realized that I messed up. 2 miles is the Mount Rogers Spur Trail. On the ridge up there, I had a hammock, but I remember thinking like, man, it'd be really nice to pop a tent on this ridge here outside of where all the trees are. But you know, when you have a hammock, you can't really do much without trees. So that's why I have a tent. But we'll see what happens. 2 miles to go till the ridge. We'll break out of the trees at that point and get some views. There is a spring up there by the shelter. Now, where I think I want to camp is by the Spur Trail, so it's before the shelter, but not terribly far. So I could drop pack, claim my spot, hit that spring, get some water, and some food will be nice too. Oh, there we go. The shelter should be pretty soon in there, and the spring is downhill somewhere in here, which is good because I killed the last of my 2 liters of Gatorade. I got some purification tablets that'll make it safe to drink. It is time to find water, find camp. Camping or fires beyond this point? Well, definitely won't be going up that way, but thankfully Appalachian Trail continues this way. So let's go. This is the border with Jefferson National Forest. Look at that campsite. It's about perfect. I can hit water at the spring and come right back here. But before we do that, I want to take a moment to thank our sponsor for this video, RevTown. Now, this may come as a surprise, but I don't always wear hiking clothes. In fact, I usually wear jeans, and that is exactly what RevTown does. They're actually created by a few former executives from Under Armour, and they put their heads together to come up with a solution to the biggest shortcoming of denim, and that is the ability to actually move in it. So they made a proprietary blend of denim. It's got a little stretch to it, it's lighter, and it's soft instead of feeling like cardboard. But most importantly, it's still got that toughness and durability that you would expect out of a pair of jeans. They come in a ton of different colors and cuts, all the way from your skinny jeans to slim like this to straight leg jeans. Me personally, my favorite version is the ones I'm wearing right now. They are the lightweight jeans by RevTown, and they're actually made with an even lighter and more breathable blend of fabric than their original Decade denim. So they feel like I'm barely wearing anything during the day. They're very comfortable. And most important for me, if I'm doing something active like a day hike, something like that, I find that they feel a lot less hot and stuffy compared to my previous older denim jeans. Plus they pack down well, so they're good for travel. There's a link in my video description, or you can just go to revtownusa.com/syntax77 and you can get your own pair of jeans that you can actually move in. I've already got mine, plus I'm getting a little thirsty, so I'm gonna get back on the trail and find this spring. All right, I'm feeling pretty good. I don't see anybody around. Look, another giant site right there. Midweek at 4:51. There's nobody here right now. The shelter itself, wouldn't be surprised if somebody's there. That's kind of the prime spot to be, but here it is right here. Oh, beautiful. I can see over there actually a bear box. There was a woman at the shelter over there. So I'll fill these up with water and then treat them. Couple iodine tablets in each one. Let that sit for half an hour. Then I'll drop in PA Plus tablet to make it clear and tasting like regular water again. In the meantime, we need shelter and maybe a fire. Yeah. Gotta love when you have some dry tinder. It does make a difference. All right, next up, a tent. I kept it pretty simple for this trip. So I have, if you watch my previous videos where I horribly screwed up the tent with my wife, I won't get into that right now. But I have the correct poles and the tent body somewhere in here. Right here. This is my Outdoor Vitals 1P tent. 1 plus tent. Basically it means it's good for like you plus a dog. I have a dog and I've taken them and it works good with the bug net and everything. But in my case right now, because it is, I'm going to call it early fall, bugs aren't too bad. I kind of gambled on this, but I only brought the ground sheet right here, which normally just protects the bottom of the tent from abrasions. But in my case, I have just that. No bug net, no actual tent body on purpose this time, and then the fly. So theoretically, bugs or whatever could come up in there with me, but it cuts the weight down dramatically, and as you saw, takes up very little space. So for this kind of weather condition, I think it's going to be perfect. I got the poles here, so we'll bust that out, and that hooks into, at least with this tent, structurally it hooks into the bottom of the footprint and then props up the body. So it'll protect me from rain and dew and wind. I think it's going to be a good trade-off. Let's see. There we go. Just looking for a spot without rocks. There we go. Got guy lines here. Could probably tie to a tree or something. That's good enough for me. So at this point, not much left to do but put the sleeping pad out. My little $30 budget guy. Blow him up. It's got a one-way valve. Makes that a little easier. Sounds a little crazy. Scares off the wildlife, but it works. That's 4. I can usually get it done in like 8. Good to go. Not bad. So, plug him up, put him in, and I'll have my head up here because I got some downhill action, so I don't want the blood going towards my face while I'm sleeping, right? So, straighten that out like that, and you can see I'm kind of wide open. I got the grass right there, but I'm protected from rain, and the forecast is pretty good. Sun is out. It's beautiful, actually. Feels good. Got my fire going there. Just building a bed of coals. A little something to do as I set up camp. I'm very hungry, so I think my next goal will be make food, and then we'll go collect firewood. So I got my alcohol stove, just a cat can stove. I've had this for about 10 years. It's just a cat food can with holes punched in it. Pour a little bit of denatured alcohol in there and spark it up. It is lit. Now we will fill this with water. I read the instructions. I'm doing the shepherd's cottage pie from Packet Gourmet. I need 9 ounces for the main meal, 5 ounces for the mashed potatoes over top, 14 ounce total. So 750 ml pot. I got it just about filled. It's 24 ounces. That's more than I need, but I can use the excess for a little coffee or something. So we'll let that come to a boil. Then I'll rehydrate the potatoes and the cottage pie. Let that sit. In the meantime, we'll get some wood for this fire because it's looking a little sad. So over here in these woods, I do believe we might be able to find some wood. Not quite sunset yet, but the temp is dropping. All right, well, got my log seat here. Cottage pie, mashed potatoes, half moon in the sky above me. Got a good view. Shelter right there. Warm food. Can't complain. Good morning, everyone. Got a little chilly last night, but it is about 7 a.m. right now. I'm in the tent, feeling pretty good, but the daylight is out, so I think it's time to start moving. Tent did good. It definitely got some dew in here. Well, actually it's condensation, just from me breathing and living and whatnot. A little bit of condensation, but that's to be expected. But tent, it did good. I got a little breeze through here. You can see without having the tent body in here, normally it would have the bathtub walls that come up and meet the side of the exterior, so I had breeze coming through here. What's it look like out there? Actually sounds like a little bit of rain. We'll see how that is in a minute, but I stayed dry and pretty warm. The sleeping pad did good. My 40-degree down top quilt, which I usually use in a hammock, did just fine as well. And let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, it's gray and wet. Yep. Forecast did say there'd be some morning fog, but it's not actually. No, I wouldn't call it foggy. It's just morning. All right. Well, I think it's time for a little coffee and some breakfast. Let's do it. And there's my home. Or was my home. We'll move on today, but not bad. Guided out a little bit on each side. Just tied that one to the brush over there, just to keep it pitched out and ventilated, to keep that airflow going, minimize the condensation, which we saw. Man. All right. What did I say I was going to do? Coffee. Food. Yeah. Going polenta with pork sausage this morning. And straight from the MRE, some leftover military coffee. It'll do the job. A little sunshine, some food, and coffee to refuel. Sounds like a plan. Back on it, following the white blazes. Gonna stick with the Appalachian Trail for now, and at some point we'll bust out the map at one of these intersections and decide what we want to do. Tons of campsites around here. And there's two right back there. No shortage of camping around here, that is for sure. Beautiful area. Almost reminds me of Dolly Sods in West Virginia, where you can pretty much throw a stone and hit a campsite legally whenever you want. See how this weather holds out. No internet service right now. Last forecast I got said we were in the clear for the first 2 days, and we're on day 2 right now, but looks a little gray. What I thought was rain on the tent this morning was not. It was just wind and dew. We'll see how that holds out. Didn't bring my weatherman radio on this trip. Kept it pretty light and simple. A lot of times I'll bring that, but I spared the 8 ounces. And I'm just using my eyeballs, which tell me, I'd say there's a 30% chance of rain in our future. Well, trail goes that way. That there is Pine Mountain. Well, I guess we got our first pony sighting. I kind of hopped off trail, so take a look at this sign over here and see where exactly we are. Pine Mountain over there, like I said, Virginia Highlands horse trail, 3/4 that way. That's towards my vehicle. All right, well, seems like maybe lunch is in order. Why not? Wow. Those clouds are pretty ominous over there. Could be a storm system that was supposed to hit tomorrow has sped up. If it gets a little dicier, I got a tent. I'll put it up. We'll figure it out. But first we eat. Well, it's midday. This is one of the best campsites I've ever come across, and I want to stay here. So, I think I will. The view is good. The temps are nice. There's no rain yet, although it seems to be threatening. There's some clouds above, but they're blowing through pretty good. I'm pretty much just happy with where I am. I got a view of the mountain over there. It's 4 something in the afternoon. Just gonna sit here, relax, look at the clouds. Of course, you can't cook food or live in general without water, so we should probably go get some of that before we get too comfortable. I believe, hopefully, that'll be down this hill right here. It's getting cold. Sun went down and temp is dropping. But I need some water. And so, the third day begins. Back on the trail. Virginia Highlands horse trail. What I figured out was, I think I can get myself back to the vehicle without redoing any trails that I've taken in. I'm going the opposite direction from Pine Mountain. That was back at that other livestock gate back there. And we're just going to follow this, get to the next intersection, and take it from there. At some point as well, this trail should come across, maybe within a couple miles, a creek, which is good because I have about a half liter left. I had breakfast this morning, which was good. Memphis grits, very tasty. I am greatly looking forward to my post-hike tradition of a cheeseburger somewhere around here. I got a hotel for the night after I get out of here. We got a full day of hiking in front of us, of course, but the first cheeseburger spot that I see, I'm gonna hit it. A charbroiled patty sounds pretty good. A little bit of gray skies up there, but I think we're gonna do okay. The forecast that I read 3 days ago, or 2.5 days ago, said there might be some thunderstorms midday or late to midday. Let's call it 2 to 3 p.m. So I got a few hours to hopefully beat that if the forecast hasn't changed. But I got the sun beaming down on me right now, so we're just going to stay optimistic, stay dreaming of hamburgers, and forge ahead. Well, if ever I've seen a brooding sky, I would say that's it. It's the ridge we came from, and those clouds are ominous. But I'm back. Jeep is over there, still there, which is good. A couple cars in the parking lot. Back in the nick of time, I think. The rain is about to start. Speaking of starting, that's where we started right there. We went up that way and came back here. Made ourselves a little loop. Yet another gate. I think that about sums it up. The skies are dark, and we made it. So, until next time, I'm Syntax77, and right now, it's cheeseburger time.